Okay, this is the May 21st, 2025 Planning Board meetings called to order. This advises the notice, time, date, location, and the extent known agenda of subject meeting was prominently posted in the public place reserved for such or similar announcements on May 21st, 2025, transmitted to the Times, Princeton Packet, West Windsor and Plainsboro News on May 13th, 2025, filed Township Clerk, May 13th, 2025. Trish, please call the roll.
Mr. Lavara,
Yes.
Mr. Shattuck, Mr. Santo, Mr. Gay,
Yes.
Ms. Farley, Ms. Ahmed, Councilman Litchfield, Mayor Marquette,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Overman,
Here.
Chairman Clark.
Here, we have a quorum. Thank you. Okay, no comments from me. Anybody from the public wish to come up to the microphone for any public comments? Please come up, state your name and address for the record. Non-agenda, non-pending items. Don't all rush up to the microphone. Okay, I don't see anybody coming up to the microphone. Thank you. And it's an environmental report.
We had a meeting on this week, daily. Quite a few things were discussed. One of the most important is sustainable just the application. And last time we submitted this application 2022, we got the certification as a silver certification. We are trying for the same in 2025. Then Deborah Milski is helping EC now as a consultant for this sustainable journey certification. I think is very helpful, definitely. Second round application is submitted on 5/16 last Friday with 390 points, whereas required points are 350. Expect to receive comments from this second submission by mid-June. Third round submission will be the final one, will be due by 7/31. The required points are 415. We are expecting additional 40 to 50 points. That will take us to 430 to 440, more than 450. And the comments on third round are expected in mid-September. Another thing, I think EC endorsed complete a green street policy resolution prepared by Francis. I have draft copy with Francis already going to submit to the council. The draft resolution was updated from the green street policy of 2010 based on the sustainable wealthy model. And I have a copy here, what draft is going to be submitted. We discussed banning gas powered leaf blowers. I mean, that we have been under discussion for last few meetings due to noise pollution. This could be a signal ban and or night ban as required. Princeton Township has similar ban. I don't know what the details are. EC is going to submit all the information for and against the gas powered versus electrical powered blowers to the Township Council for their review. So that's all I have to say. Any questions?
So, gas powered leaf blowers.
Yes.
Is all day or just night and morning?
It's under discussion. It's not finalized yet. It could be all night only. Or so it's just we are just talking.
We have ordinances regarding making noise after a certain hour.
People start all that for shutting equipment for a certain amount of distance.
I mean,
Yeah.
this.
I know a town, or at least a community within a town, they've just banned them outright and required that if anybody wants to use a leaf blower, it has to be electric.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and normally I think the battery charge nowadays.
Battery charge. Yeah.
And I think what we discussed, I think more than 50% township people, they hire. The lawn guys and they will have, if they want, it's more expensive. Then they have battery powered, so if the battery goes down, they should have another battery. If that goes down, they have to charge somewhere. So it's all if pro and cons, okay?
I mean, most of the complaints are somebody's contractor starting too early on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
That's my next door neighbor.
Yeah.
It's been doing 2-year renovation.
Anyway, it's under discussion, okay? Not finalized.
So they're gonna put in place and everybody immediately has to, homeowners all have to go out and get a battery operated leaf blower.
I said you, Mike.
If they
No,
get
I'm not blowing my leaves, that's for sure. Someone's blowing them, but it's not me. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Any questions? Nope, okay. Minutes from May 7th, any amendments, changes? Very thorough. Very thorough meeting minutes.
Thank you.
Anybody? Changes, amendments, thoughts? Content seems good. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from May 7th, 2025.
May 17,
May 7th.
May 7, sorry. You know.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Rob. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So everybody everybody present is an aye. Okay, thank you. Okay, next up is request for extension of approval PB 21-10 Carnegie Center West Corman Suites.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Board. Thank you for entertaining our request this evening. As Mr. Chairman mentioned, this is PB 21-10 Carnegie Center West, Block 17, Lot 12.01, 12.61, 12.062 as subdivided, although unfortunately, because the project didn't previously go forward, our contract purchaser ultimately did not close. We're presently in litigation. It's one of the reasons why we're asking to extend.
Recording this, could you introduce yourself?
Thank you.
Apologies. Gregory Ricciardi from Boston Properties BXP on behalf of the original applicant, which was BXP Carnegie Owner LLC or Boston Properties Limited Partnership.
And Greg, usually I don't swear in witnesses. I don't swear in attorneys. But since you're going to be obviously making the presentation and providing whatever facts you want the board to consider, I'm going to swear you in. So if you could raise your right hand.
Certainly.
Do you swear or affirm that testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I do.
So sworn or affirmed.
Thank you. So obviously we appeared before this board, presented an application for a corporate suites project at Carnegie Center West. We still think that that project has significant potential if ultimately either BXP or we partner with somebody else to bring it to fruition. It's something that we spent a considerable amount of time, effort, energy, and certainly the board's time and energy presenting on. But unfortunately, as the litigation continues ultimately over the deposit at this point, we haven't yet found the right opportunity to fully realize that vision. The other approvals in connection with the project, either the DEP, wetlands, treatment works approval, DOT approvals, Mercer County Soils, Delaware Raritan Canal Commission, and the County Planning Board all remain in place. Their vesting periods are a little bit longer than the traditional site plan approval that we obtained here from the Planning Board. And so our request this evening is that, albeit Technically, the the site plan approval has expired as of July of 2024. We're requesting a 2-year extension, which is within the authority of the board to grant at this time. That would extend the existing site plan approval to July of 2026.
Yeah, what it technically does is it extends the protection period from zoning changes for whatever that period is. If the zoning is not changed, the approvals would still be good. But obviously, as a matter of caution, many applicants come in, they're afraid something will come out in left field and there'll be a change in the zoning, so they come in for an extension, which is perfectly appropriate.
Is there any reason to think that there may be zoning changes in this area?
So, the sure plan, you won't be able to show that this product has approval on that gap, but it's wants to move forward, so they don't want the zoning, the rest of the zoning rights expire, so this helps us.
Okay.
Shows that project's still alive.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Now, usually you can get with final 3 1-year extensions. If it's a project of a certain size, though, it could be more than, actually, it's a 1-year, 2 1-year extensions. You can get greater extensions, and this is of that size, so it's entitled to a more significant extension.
Okay, he's asking for a 2-year extension, retroactive back to, was it 24?
That's correct.
Okay, so after this, in 26, this expires, there's what, 1 more extension that could be requested?
Well, the board can grant longer extensions because of the size of the project
Okay,
and related variables.
okay.
So they'd be entitled to come in again after that.
Mhm.
That's correct. It's actually one of the key pieces of the litigation, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I wish I had a more thorough answer than we didn't think about it because honestly, we were heavily invested in the litigation itself and we were exploring kind of what to do with it. And then we ultimately realized that it was in July of 24 that the initial approval had expired from the protection. Now, to some extent, we were not thoughtful to the effect that there might be a zone change. We didn't necessarily anticipate that there would be the Carnegie Center zoning and the ROM 1 and ROM 2 for West and East as it has existed for a very long time. But with that said, things do happen, things change. And so we recognize that while there's still this opportunity, it would be good to come to the board and make this request.
Sure, just a question, since they have on West, and it's still valid, even if the county agrees on the problem, when they're able to supersede.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
You don't anticipate, I know you're going through litigation and it's hard for you to say, but you don't anticipate any major changes, to this existing plan. In other words, sometime before 2026, the litigation gets resolved and you say, you know what? I'd like that plan, but unfortunately, I have to change it drastically.
It's a very fair question, Chairman Carp. I think that realistically speaking, at a minimum, we would change the name. It's certainly not going to be Corman Suites. We would obviously come in on an amended preliminary and final site plan at that time, and the board would have the opportunity to address any additional comments that we need. So the extension would apply specifically to the approval as it exists within the approved resolution with all of its attenuated conditions and requirements. If I were to speak candidly, I think the only real consideration I could see was whether we would ask the board to shift it further north or further south on site if there was some other development that we needed to accommodate on Carnegie Center West. The nature of the use, the bedroom mix, the design, all of those elements we believe are exceptional and would do very, very well. So those are not things that I would anticipate we would change, but maybe specifically where on that 50-acre site. I could see that potentially being modified if we were to consider it. And we would come back to the board.
Jerry, question. How, if they were to come back, how many like new things or changes would then render this approval like, moot and have to be substantially like a reapplication or whatever? I know that people, they come back and they do, I want to amend my final site plan to a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but like, what would entail like some major change would say, you know what, this is not good anymore? What would have to happen?
Well, it has to be a substantial change to the entire, in terms of the entire project. But if they come back in and there are changes, no matter how substantial, and that's approved, that's good. But at the same time, the board would always be well advised to put in the record that the approval, which has now been changed, is no longer valid.
So it's up to the board to decide, like, this is substantially changing the footprint, the overall view of the project, and therefore, hey, we can't approve it as you're amending it, something like that, or?
Well, you'd be able to prove it as you're amending it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Work on standing, so
Okay.
legal opinion, because if it's no longer valid, or it's a major change, you're affecting the preliminary, then they have to meet all the new zoning reg changes,
Mhm.
regs, everything else they have to file the new regs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
So how does one discern a major change versus a minor change? It's-
Specific from the problem.
It's okay. Because my thinking right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that if there's any change to the site plan, the form of the building, the program of the building, that would require a review.
Well, I'll give you an example. The restaurant that's part of the hotel going in next to Carnegie, that's part of the land really development there on Route 1 Meadow River. If you remember, the board gave a preliminary site approval for the restaurant. Now the restaurant wants to come in, they pay through TRC, they're gonna be coming back of the planning board. The changes they made because they have a restaurant name coming in town were determined to be minor, so it didn't affect their preliminary, just coming in for a final site.
And will that come to us? Okay.
I'm guessing they're adding, if they add a building, it's changing, the flood, the flood design and water runoff and something like that, That
That should be a site plan change.
yeah, that would be a site plan change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, a good example too is Bear Creek recently came in with an amendment, but basically the program was still in place and was really kind of some adjustments to the plan. And the board thought, and it amended, it approved it as an amended approval rather than saying, no, you have to come back with a new plan.
Chick-fil-A and Wawa, right?
Right.
That's a good example where the change didn't really affect the overall site, but just how like the right of way and driveways and stuff like
Exactly.
that. Okay.
Remember, Chick-fil-A was a modification.
Yes. Yep. Right.
Right, the form of the building,
Yeah.
all the entry and exit, as well as the site
And
changed.
Wawa didn't want them
site
sharing
Right.
their.
Your parking lot.
Yeah, sorry, Rob. go ahead.
Chick-fil-A, really brown.
And that was a-
So they came back for us.
The extension feel comfortable saying, we have knowledge, or you want to share this with the board. Has the market changed considerably, and might that be one of the reasons why this contract purchaser walked away?
Actually, that's a very fair question, Mr. Lavero. I don't think so. I actually believe this remains a robust market for this particular use. In fairness to that contract purchaser, if I were to try to distill what I thought the bases were for the collapse, if you will, of the contract, were we thought that under the plain terms of the purchase and sale agreement that they were supposed to close on X date. They wanted to wait until the resolution compliance process had been completed with the township. We thought that would have due burden on us, given the express language of the contract. There was a disagreement about it, and it led to the breakdown of the transaction. There had been some conversations about potentially reviving it, but I think there's some sour feelings on all sides, and that's why we have a court system to resolve those things. It is to some extent a bit of a niche use, and so finding a collateral partner to work with to bring this to fruition is something that has taken time. We don't think it's an impossibility. It's one of the reasons why we're here tonight requesting this extension. But we do think it is a viable use and that the market does in fact support it.
Okay. Any further questions? Okay, thank you. I'm gonna open it to the public if they want to step up to the microphone, comments on this application and
Thank you.
extension. Okay, seeing none. Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve the request for extension of approval PB 21-10 Carnegie Center West Corman Suites. Moved by Anis, second. Second by Rob. Please call the roll.
Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Mr. Lavara,
Yes.
Mr. Bade,
Yes.
Mayor Marte,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Hoberman.
Yes.
Chairman Carr.
Yes. Granted. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You
Thank you.
too.
Take care, Greg.
I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
No meeting June 4th, but we will be on June 18th. All hands on deck. That's the hearing that we got our house now.
I will not be available.
I will not be here on 18.
Michael, I can be there. I'll be there.
Okay. Curtis will fill in for me.
Sam, you go submit the plan on June 6th.
Yeah, you'll be getting the plan, like, 4th or 5th of June, I'll be sending an electronic copy of the plan and the appendices. And then I will provide you with a hard copy of just the plan. The appendices are like literally 6 inches thick. One look through it, an electronic copy of that. It just has all the derivatives, all the manuals, all the backup lead information we have on that. The housing element itself, the document was about driveway homes, what our application was, and how we met it, what sites we went with, what our elevation is, and how we came up with that number, and the sites that shows into that elevation.
Okay, like I said, unfortunately, I will not be available. I wish I was, but I will not be here on that day. Okay.
If need be.
So we have, Anis is not here, I'm not here, Rob's not here, there's three. Okay,
Yeah, I think it would be wise to try to do ascertain a quorum way before that meeting.
yep.
Yeah, we have to do it before 30.
Right. I know there's that deadline. What does that also have the dynamic of the council meeting immediately after? Okay.
It's not, trust me, it's not a vacation. What I'm gonna do, I'd rather be here.
I know. No, that's why I'm saying, can we ascertain that you have it before then?
I understand. I would, trust me, I would much rather be here. As painful as that meeting will be, it'll be better than what I'm gonna do.
Township will pay you all the expenses which you are going to incur, okay?
This is your first one.
Sam check in the next 2-3 days, so if we don't get, we should have at least one extra person.
Just a routine, it's been 8 years.
You can look at humans. I found that articles against on your show.
One of my wife.
So Sam, beyond that, what's July look like? Right.
But we will do all
But there's no applications in July at this point?
There may be, there's some.
Okay.
And then we also have to update our interest in elements with our housing. Restrictions. So that
Understood.
takes some.
Okay, entertain motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Moved by the mayor, second by Ines. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks.
I had a
You did a
goal.
good-
The Knicks are playing tonight.